managerial and academic literature has developed many frameworks to support companies in designing their circular business models. In this video, we will focus on 3 of these frameworks that can be considered the starting point for anyone interested in deepening the topic. The first circular economy framework is known as the butterfly diagram. It is a practitioner's framework developed by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and it is one of the most cited and pictured frameworks about the circular economy. Before presenting the framework, we can spend some words on the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, globally recognized as the initiator of the current century debate about circular economy. In 2005, Ellen MacArthur was the fastest solo sailor to circumnavigate the globe in 71 days. The time spent sailing alone at sea was extremely inspiring. Ellen was entirely dependent on the limited resources, for instance food and fuel, that she had on board her ship. She realized that our economy works the same way, being dependent on finite resource stocks to produce our everyday products. This parallelism between her ship and our economy was the starting goal, driving her to establish a foundation promoting circular economy as an alternative economy model, preserving resources value. The butterfly diagram represents the materials flow in circular economy. It distinguishes between biological and technical cycles. Biological cycles refer to natural biodegradable resources and aim to preserve them by quickly returning to the natural environment. Technical cycles refer to all other non-biodegradable materials and aim to extend their useful life through several different practices. As a rule of thumb in this framework, the closer the loop is to the center of the diagram, the more valuable the approach. So, considering particularly the technical cycles, best approaches start from maintenance, then reuse, then remanufacturing and refurbishment, and only as a last chance, recycling. Producers should then design their products and business models in order to increase the chance the product to be reused and or the parts to be remanufactured. Moreover, the longer the cycles, the better. So, if the producer is able to design modular products whose main components are suitable to be used in many different releases of the products and or in many different variants, these components are more easily reused or remanufactured, thus allowing for more value to be captured. Finally, it is possible to connect different circles, namely different industries, in an output-input logic to increase value preservation. Said in a different way, we can move resources from one butterfly to another. In this case, we can distinguish between upcycling, in which the output of an industry becomes an input in an higher valued industry, for example, exhausted plastic tarps becoming design bags and accessories. Downcycling, in which the output of an industry becomes an input in a lower valued industry, for example, exhausted denim products becoming insulation materials for buildings. The second circular economy framework worth to be mentioned here is the Resolve model, also developed by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. It shows the different ingredients to be added to a circular business model to improve its sustainability. Resolve is an acronym of 6 words. Regenerate, the use of renewable resources for the energy needs and or the use of recycled materials and components. Share, applying a sharing model to minimize the resource use for sustaining consumption. Optimize, revise the bill of material requirements, searching for further optimization, that is, better performance or longer life cycle even if in a positive trade-off with additional cost. Loop, finding opportunities and connections with other butterflies for upcycling or downcycling for all the components and resources of the products. Virtualize, get rid of any unnecessary material ancillary to the product or processes, like the user's manuals, prototypes, mock-ups, to the alternative use of digital technologies. Exchange, evaluate the adoption of 3D printing, additive manufacturing in the production process, thus enhancing the flexibility of the process, its resilience to innovation, and the availability for distributed operations. Finally, the third circular economy framework to be mentioned is the R Strategies framework. It is an academic framework representing the different strategies to implement circular economy. The framework distinguishes and defines 10 different strategies, all starting with an R, belonging to 3 clusters. The first cluster groups strategies for smarter product use and manufacturing. This cluster encompasses refuse, rethink, and reduce strategies, which take place when products are conceived, designed, and developed. These strategies can be considered precursory, they occur before other strategies, and enable all the other strategies. The second cluster groups strategies for extending the lifespan of a product and its parts. It encompasses reuse, repair, refurbish, remanufacture, and repurpose strategies. To work properly, however, these strategies require a certain market receptivity, a well-functioning reverse logistics, and a certain level of profitability for all the parties involved. This cluster somehow reflects the butterfly model suggestions. Lastly, the third cluster groups strategies for a useful application of materials. It includes recovery and recycle strategies. These strategies relate to solid waste otherwise destined for landfill or burned without heat recovery. The R10 framework defines a sort of hierarchy among different strategies by suggesting a certain development path. It can also be used for identifying gaps, that is, missing strategies, in a certain business model. To conclude, we recap the main concepts of today's lecture. The butterfly diagram defines the basic options for designing a circular business model. The resolve model defines additional ingredients to make it more sustainable. The R Strategies framework, finally, supports the identification of a set of strategies for circular economy.